12 minutes to go in normal time. Liverpool 3-0. Corner taken quickly, Origi! Yeah! Oh my word! Yes! This is extraordinary.
Hello and welcome to Redscast after what is a very disappointing end to a week for Liverpool, really. It's just sad to lose. I'm gutted. It feels weird to do a podcast after we've lost, and the last podcast we done was after we've lost as well against Atletico. There is a reason why there was no podcast midweek this week after we beat West Ham at Anfield 3-2 on Monday, and that is because if you are watching on YouTube, it's because of this guy. If you are listening on Spotify or Apple or any other good podcasting platform, it's me dog. I got a new addition to my family. I got a little Frenchie, and he's called Virgil, obviously named after the greatest centre-back of all time, in what I've seen anyway. I'm 25, but if you are watching on YouTube, his Instagram handle is up there. Don't blame me for that. Me missus made an Instagram for him, but why not? Why not document his life and him growing up? But just if you're watching it, this is a strong recommendation to head over to YouTube just to see his face. He is adorable. I got him this week, so he's took up loads of my time, so I didn't really have a chance to do a podcast after the West Ham game, with working and stuff. But yeah, that was a good game. To recap that, it was a really good game. We fought to the end, going 2-1 down, coming back, winning 3-2. Fantastic team performance. Risky at times, not tight. We left the game feeling like you don't want to be giving teams like that chances. After the last run of games, we thought, we've got like 5 or 6 games there where we're not playing a team in the top 6 where we can wrap the league up. And then obviously nearly slipped against West Ham and then slipped today. It's just all round disappointing, really, isn't it? Like, when you think about how much of a contribution Jordan Henderson is to that team, he is phenomenal, isn't he? Like, missing him, it's like missing an arm. With that Liverpool team, it's like a cog in the spine that's just not working, and it's just so frustrating to watch without him. I just felt the whole team was disappointing today, but no more so than Dejan Lovren. Now, Dejan Lovren, I have no idea how or why that man started when Joel Matip was on the bench. Even I'd rather have Kiajana, however, next to Verge, to be honest with you, than Dejan Lovren play a game again. He is shocking, and it's so disappointing that he started ahead of Matip. I didn't even know Gomez was injured until the start of the game. I was a bit confused. Because I literally haven't been on my phone. I haven't seen anything online because I've been dealing with my dog. But yeah, it's just dead disappointing watching the match. I was dead excited, really, like first match with my dog. But I was looking forward to it because obviously if Liverpool would have won, we would have broke City's record of consecutive wins. And we was well within our way of 3 more cup finals after that to win the league, where it still stays at 4 more cup finals. We are still going to win the league. It's not like we're the bottlers again like we have been in previous years and we're throwing away the league. That's still going to happen. We're far too ahead now to let that slip, and it won't slip. And maybe this is the kick up the arse Liverpool needed, because they have been disappointing in recent weeks. They haven't been the Liverpool we know and love. When you think back to the Atletico game, they dominated us, really, and they were so... Seems like they then set up a plan for everyone else to follow on how to wear down Liverpool, and Watford teams have used it again today, but going forward, they were phenomenal. But yeah, with Atletico, we were disappointing. Against West Ham midweek, we showed great character. We were mentality monsters again and pulled that back, 1-3-2, but it was still a disappointing game. The atmosphere was unbelievable. I was in 306 in the Cop. Really, really good atmosphere. I don't know what it was like for the rest of the ground, but the Cop's always bouncing. Didn't sit down for the whole game, which is what you want to see at the match, even though the stupid fella comes on and tells you to sit down like anyone cares. But that's what you want to see at the ground. You want to see some boss atmosphere, fans jumping and singing, and that's what we had at West Ham, and it was good to see, because the atmosphere has been quite dead all season. But I'm not too sure if it was just the block that I was in and the surrounding areas that was noisy, because I did see tweets online saying that the atmosphere was shocking again. But from where I was, the atmosphere was bob on for the West Ham game. But we were risky at times. We were sloppy. 2 games on the run now where Alisson has conceded 2 goals, which previous to that, I think you hadn't conceded more than 2 goals all season in a single game. And since that stats came out, he conceded more than 2 in the last 2 games. It was disappointing, really. When you seen Lovren starting today, you just thought, oh no, he's always got a mistake in him. But I didn't expect him to be that clinically bad today. He was absolutely shocking, Dejan Lovren, today. Not any seemed to do work. They just kept trying to pick out players from the back, which is good, playing out from the back. But he's just not a good enough player to do it, really. He made a few half-decent passes, but sometimes you were just doing things and you're just thinking, what are you doing? And it felt like Trent had a bad game because he was covering for Lovren's mistakes. Now, Trent did get turned a few times. But it felt like he had a bad game because he didn't trust himself to get forward that much, because he didn't trust Dejan left at the back with Verge, because Verge was basically being 2 defenders, which he is capable of. But how bad Lovren was, no player wants to cover that much mistakes for somebody. It was horrendous how bad he was. And it was just all around disappointing to watch, really. The whole 100 minutes or something like that it was, wasn't it? With 5 minutes in the first half because of Delafeu, who I hope it is okay. Even though he did play for Everton, you don't like to see that happen to a player, and it was good to see Diox run straight over to him and console him and make sure he was okay. And to be honest with you, him going off changed the game, because that fella he brought on, I can't even remember his name now, he was unbelievable. He played really well for them, and that Ismail Assar, he's a Sadio Mane's national team partner, who ran the show. So the fact he brought him off on a hat-trick against Liverpool was absolutely crazy. And Troy Deeney, the world's most useless centre-forward, managed to bag himself a goal as well. But all round, very disappointing today, and all eyes go on to Chelsea, really, and I just hope that Jurgen does play the kids in that game, and the kids just show the first team how they should play football, because the past few weeks we haven't been good. We just haven't been at the races, and Jurgen always talks about hating consecutive fixtures schedules like here is in December, where it's just like 3-4 games in the space of like 10 days. But when Liverpool seems to be playing and playing and playing, and they've got that many games consecutively, they don't seem to get beat. Where this time of year is always when we notoriously start being a little bit dodgy. And it's just disappointing, really. Like, I'm not saying like anything bad. I'm not saying the league's over, because Liverpool are probably going to win it, and we're probably going to go and win the next 4 games and win the league. And that there's no doubt about that. We will win the Premier League, whether it's in 4 games or whether it's in 10 games. We will win the Premier League by the end of the season. And I can see City as well slipping up tomorrow, which would be interesting if they do. But I think instead of being postponed, but I didn't see why. I haven't seen nothing official online, and it might just be in the app I was using, but I'd have to check it. But when they do eventually play Arsenal, I can see them slipping up. City's running games are a lot harder than ours, but it's just no excuses, really. Like, Liverpool were just poor today, and you could see that Jurgen winning, like, shook Nigel Pearson's hand before the whistle went, because he just wanted to go on that pitch and get down the tunnel and get that team talk going. And wonder if anyone got the air dry treatment today. I think it wouldn't have been a nice dressing room environment to have been in today, because the whole performance was lackluster, really. Minamino was probably the best thing that come out of the game. When he came on, he looked sharp. He looked like he wanted to create chances. He looked like he wanted to get into good positions, make runs, and it's good to see that. I've spoken about him a few times on the podcast, just because of how much when I think back to that Salzburg game, I was in the upper main stand, how much he ran the show for them and how much he impressed me, so you know what he's capable of. And when he came on, I was really excited to see him play, and he did play well. When he did come on, the 10 minutes he did go. One thing I would have said is it would have been good to have seen him get maybe half an hour when he did come on. And I would have liked to have seen Lovren come off, to be honest with you. Regardless of if that may upset him, I don't really care, because that whole performance was just shocking from him, and he deserved to come off, really. There was no... If he would have come off, I don't think there would have been any complaints from any one of the fans. If they would have just brought Matty on at half-time, that might have helped. But Lovren just shouldn't be coming near the Premier League 11 now. He is. Every time he plays, he's got a mistake in him, but today's performance should surely just wipe him out of the the selection for Jurgen pretty much immediately because there was just nothing good about him, really. It just made the team look amateur. I know Virgil was at fault for one of the goals, not closing down properly. And the whole team, really, I'm pinning it on Lovren, just because he in particular had a really, really bad game. But the whole team, as a collective, really had a bad game. Alisson made some crazy decisions when he was running out with his arms down by his side rather than putting them up. When I was in school, he was always told to make yourself look big, and he had his arms by his side, still making himself look big, but you could have maybe prevented if he would have put his arms in the air. You don't know. I'm not a goalkeeper. Nor am I a professional footballer, so obviously he trains every day, so he knows what he's doing, but he just didn't have a good game. None of the team really had a good game. Robertson made some really interesting runs, to be honest, and that excites me really to think that if we can see more of them runs in the coming games, it'll be good to see that because he was exciting. May I add as well, Troy Deeney shouldn't have been on the pitch for his tackle on Trent. It was absolutely abysmal. I could not believe it. Like, it could have snapped Trent's calf, hamstring, could have snapped his leg basically. And there was no need for it. It seems to have spanned from when the ball went out and Trent didn't throw it back to him immediately and walked a little bit and then threw it back. To like going back into position. Everyone does it, but it seems like Deeney had that as a bit of a why you doing that to me sort of thing. I have no idea how he was still on the pitch. I don't think if he wasn't on the pitch, it would have affected the game really, because Watford just dominated us from start to finish. We just couldn't get out. The chances we did have were poor. There was just no creativity there really. The Ox though, good spark for me. I think I've always liked him, but I think I would like him. My mate who I watched it with said he'd like to see him more than Kaiser, and I probably would agree with that now. When the Ox comes on in games, he just seems to change on when he starts. He knows what he's doing, he's creative. And in that central midfield role, he played sublime today. I was really, really, really impressed with him. Him and Minamino, probably the only ones who I could say positive things about. Alisson did make a few good saves. He is the world's greatest keeper, you do know that. But everybody has off days. We're fortunate now as Liverpool fans, really, because years ago, we would be getting beat 5, 6, 7, 10, 12, 15 times a season in some seasons. So this season, to feel this annoyed and upset off a loss, it just shows how spoilt we are, really, being Liverpool fans now. Like, it's our first loss in God knows how many games. It's our fit. We've won the last 18 games. It's our first loss of this season. But it's just one of them things, isn't it? Someone had to beat us at some time, and to be honest with you, I'd rather them Elton John loving fans, as you know, on Twitter this before someone said something about it and it made me laugh. But yeah, I'd rather them do it and get the win over us than someone like, say, City or United or Everton or Chelsea or Arsenal or anyone else for that matter, really. Watford are going to go down. No one really cares about them. They're just Tories anyway. No one remotely cares if they stay up or go down. They're just one of them teams that fluctuate between the Prem and the Championship. So I'd rather them beat us, give them a little bit of a boost, makes the relegation fight interesting. Is because the league is wrapped up, so it just makes the Prem a little bit interesting as well. So I'm not bothered. I'm really not bothered. I'm disappointed, because I was at the game when we played them in Anfield and we played well. They did play well against us. It was Pearson's first game, but we played really, really well, and we was in control of the game. And when we went into today's game, one of my mates had sent a message into the group chat saying, "Do you reckon he'll score today?" And I said no straight away, and how wrong was I? He got 3 past us. No one's done that for a while. It's just annoying. I'm not upset. I am upset, but you still know the league's done. You still know Liverpool are gonna win the league. You still know Watford are still fighting relegation, and you still know that City are just going for the Champions League, and that's what it is. That's all there is to it, really. It's not like City are going to be like, oh my God, Liverpool have lost. We're going to win the league. Let's go all guns blazing in the Prem, because it just won't happen. We only need to win 4 games to win the league. We need 12 points. It's only March tomorrow, so it's February today. We'll win the game by the end. We'll win the league by the end of the March, no doubt about it. It's just frustrating, really, that Palace game was just perfect. It was so perfect to win the league at 5 o'clock on a Saturday and just be able to celebrate it with all your mates and just have a boss night of it. I'm not even sure what the game is after Palace. I'll have a look now. Which if it's City or something like that, I'll be disappointed if it's just a crap game. Like away or something like that. You don't want to win the league away. You want to win it at Anfield. So we were due to win it at Palace against Palace, and instead it's going to be a 4:30 kickoff on the 5th of April against City if we beat them. Part of me would rather get a draw against Palace or someone like that along the way, just so that we can't win it at City. I'd rather win it at home against Villa, if I'm completely honest. We're going to win the league anytime, so if we want to be fussy about it and Liverpool want to be fussy about it, I'd rather win it against Villa because it's at home. I mean, to win the Premier League at City and take it off them and all their oil money and just would be absolutely incredible. But we haven't won the league for 30 years. Just how special would it be when that final whistle goes in the last game and we are crowned champions? Granted, we don't lift it until the Chelsea game, but being crowned champions, the Anfield would just go off. The players would fall to the feet. It'd be atmosphere like no other, and it'd be incredible to just have that many thousand fans of Liverpool compared to having a sellout Anfield crowd. I mean, people who go to the away days, hats off to them, they go home and away every week. And they probably deserve to have that moment, just a few thousand of them with the team once they've won the league. However, 30 years that we haven't won it for, and I think we should win it at home. It'd just be phenomenal to win it at home in front of our fans and just celebrate it properly with our fans, and then all the fans be able to go out and celebrate it into the night and just be buzzing that we've finally been crowned. Because it's not a matter of if anymore, it is just a matter of when. So why would you want to win it against City? I mean, it'd be Boss Town, it'd be bouncing for people who didn't get a ticket to City away. But for me, I'd just rather win it at home. I don't know why. Obviously, I'd love City to slip up. The only ground I'd like to win it away at would be Goodison, because that would be hysterical. And I've seen some boss things that they plan to do, like not go the match and put banners of like Jimmy Savile and that up so the things can't be used. It's just hysterical. Their fan base is an absolute... It's just boss to watch them and how much they're fuming knowing that Liverpool are about to win the league and there's absolutely nothing that they can do about it. You can see that they're fuming, and it's funny. It's so funny to see how fuming the Everton fans are, because obviously they thought all the fortunes would change, and maybe they will in the summer once Ancelotti's got a few windows under him. Maybe they will improve, but they'll always be Everton. Since they've been took over, they've spent over 400 million on players, and they are 2 points worse off than they was when they got took over. So that's just typical Everton, really, isn't it? To get bought out, get a manager like Ancelotti, and still be in the same position where you was before you got bought out and got all this oil money to make you the blue billionaires. But that is just Everton to a T. But yeah, it's all going to be another short podcast again today. I am on my own because it is a Saturday night, late kick-off. People have plans. And also, having the dog is very, very shy and timid, and I can't really get people to just keep coming round and disturbing him. He's still settling in. But yeah, he is boss, and it is true. People say to be a man's best friend, and it was a no-brainer when it comes to naming him. He had been named before I'd even found him. I always said to my partner, when we get a dog, he's going to be called Virgin, he's going to be a Frenchie, and that's what we got. He's cool, he really is cool. And I just can't wait to do things and have the dog there, and it's just like, just have a life with a dog, really. I've never had a pet. I've only ever had fish when I lived at home with my parents. My mum's not really a dog person, so to finally have my own little mate, it's sick. And maybe when he's a bit bigger, he'll appear on the podcast, and everyone will know him as Verge the Frenchie. Couldn't think of a better name for him, really. But yeah, looking ahead, Chelsea on Tuesday, it's going to be an interesting one, really, because if I was Jurgen, the players were probably going to get a few days off after today's game because they're not playing against Bournemouth, which will be next week, the first team. So they probably would have got a few days off. If I was Jurgen, I'd be like, well, you're not having your days off because of that performance. You're playing the FA Cup against Chelsea. That's what I'd do if I could. If I was Jurgen, I would say use a playing on Tuesday, because you have let the club down against Watford. You've let the fans down, and that performance. You just don't deserve days off after that performance. On the other hand, the kids were absolutely phenomenal against Shrewsbury. So they got us through that tie when first team players couldn't. So why shouldn't they be given a chance at Chelsea? I mean, Chelsea. I said it in a podcast a few weeks ago when we first drew Shrewsbury and we knew it was going to go to a replay. I said, if they gave us through, would you play them in the final? I asked Steve, and he said not a chance. I asked him when he played them at Chelsea, and he said not a chance. I would. I'd give them a go at Chelsea. The effort that them kids show is second to none, and I'd rather the kids go and play against Chelsea and give absolutely everything. And if they get beat, they get beat. But they give everything than a first team player go and get injured and as make wait even longer to win the Premier League. I mean, it'd be boss to win the FA Cup, the league, and the Champions League again. It would be phenomenal, but I would prioritise the Champions League and the league over any cup. We've seen us win the FA Cup. I don't care about the FA Cup. I don't really care about the Champions League, to be honest. I just want that Premier League secured. Obviously, we know we're going to win it, so we should go all guns blazing for the Champions League, but I couldn't care less. If Liverpool don't win the Champions League this year but win the Premier League, I do not care. I have seen Liverpool win the Champions League twice in my lifetime. We've won it 6 times. Everyone who is here now who's a fan who goes to the game would have seen us win it last year against Tottenham. So I think if you asked any Liverpool fan, like, if you could take winning just the Premier League this year, would you? I think they'd say yeah. I wouldn't even be disappointed if we only won the Premier League, because in the last 3 seasons we got to a Champions League final, won it, because we was coming so close. Then last year come so close again in the league, and then went the following year won it. It just shows the mentality of the players, and yeah, I am excited to see what happens this season. I think the Atletico game, ignore that. I had discussed about in the podcast. They've still got to come to Anfield. But looking forward to games, we've got Chelsea, and then after that, Bournemouth at home. 12:30 kickoff, which is always lovely on a Saturday. Always the dullest of atmospheres, a 12:30 kickoff on a Saturday. Not on beat for me. A Saturday night kickoffs at Anfield are decent because everyone's ready to go out. They go straight out from the game. The atmospheres are good. But midweeks for me, not on beat midweek games. Midweek games just seems to produce boss atmosphere. Like Wednesday night games and stuff like that. Champions League games, they are the best. And even when you play midweek, when the kids played against Shrewsbury, the atmosphere was phenomenal. So I prefer midweek games to atmosphere wise. But yeah, after the Chelsea game, we faced Bournemouth in the league. Don't see any difficulties there. Harry Wilson is a big playmaker for them. And obviously he can't play because he is on loan from us. So they will miss him. Josh King played phenomenal today for Bournemouth. But at Anfield, I just think we'll absolutely steamroll them. And the first team needs to put in a performance after today's game. So I don't think there's any worries with that Bournemouth game. And obviously we welcome Atletico back again. I don't think there's any worries with that. I think the only game we might find difficult or lose, and it maybe have to go to a replay, is there still replays in this round of the FA Cup. I'm not too sure. I don't really pay attention to the FA Cup because I don't really care about it. And that might upset a few people, but I just don't care about it. It used to be boss, and like when you a few years ago when Warrington Town got through and was on the telly, and it was boss to see like the magic of the cup, but it's just crap. Like, a big team's always going to win it. It's either going to, at the minute, it's going to be Liverpool or City. Obviously, I'd prefer us to win it than City, but I'd like a little team to go on far and maybe have a little story, but I don't really care. But yeah, I do think Chelsea will give us difficulties because they're obviously going to go full strength because Frank wants to win something in his first season at Chelsea. And what better opportunity than the FA Cup? His team is strong enough. If we put the kids out, they probably would beat us. But then our kids surprise us. They played against Arsenal. They had first team players on, and it was Neco Williams who set up Origi to get the last minute equaliser. So our kids always surprise us. So I think we should give the kids a go rather than the first team. I think you give them a few days. Don't give them days off. I think you get them into Melwood, sack the days off if they were going to have any. And I think you get them in there and say, you've got to train. You've lost your days off, and give them a bit of a punishment because although they've been fantastic all season and nobody's perfect, that performance was just so below average. They do deserve to if they did have days off, to lose them. And that's just my opinion, because it was absolutely shocking. Everything about today's game was shocking. I don't even want to talk about it anymore, so we're not. But yeah, Watford, go fuck yourself. Salty, aren't I? I'm getting very quite salty today. It's just annoying because in like the past week and a half, we've seen 2 defeats for Liverpool, and we're just not used to it. It's just a bit like, oh, imagine being like an Everton fan or something, and this is something you get used to every single week, and you're just used to defeat. I couldn't cope with it. I don't even know how I used to cope with it when we used to always get beat, because it's sad times. Like, I am sad that we've lost twice in like the past week and a half. It is proper sad. But yeah, there is positives. Minamino was sick. Ox was sick. Dejan Lovren definitely needs to be sold. And if that isn't confirmed, it's a Jurgen, then I don't know what will. And the other positive is when the Liverpool official Twitter tweeted out that we've been beat 3-0, Red Bull Leipzig's official Twitter tweeted back a gif of Timo Werner holding the phone and looking confused. Now, obviously, the gif hasn't been made for that reply. The gif was already there. However, the fact they were playing with Werner, it's just like they know it's done. Everyone knows it's done. James Pearce said that he'd be surprised, very surprised, if Timo Werner didn't end up a Liverpool player, which is very exciting, but it just poses the question, does Bobby drop back, or do we play a front four, or what on earth is going on? Is there a rotation? Who knows? But I'm very excited. If we are getting Timo Werner, he is a player and a half. He knows how to find the back of the net. He's fast, he's young, he's tall. He is phenomenal. He's so good. So I'm very excited about that. So up the Timo Werner in the summer, and hopefully we can get Sancho or Mbappe. Sancho rumours are proper ramping up again. I'd take either of them, to be honest. I'd take Mbappe more. I think anyone would take Mbappe more, but Sancho's special, isn't he? I think he's going to be generational, and having Sancho and Trent both running down the right, that'll just strike fear into teams before we even kick the ball, because they are both rapid, they both know how to pass a ball, they both know how to score a goal, they are both clinical, and they're both English, so the teamwork will be absolutely incredible from the two of them. So it does look like an exciting summer for Liverpool. We're going to win the league, potentially the Champions League. We'll talk about that after the Atletico game and see what's what. But it is exciting times. So yeah, it's not the end of the world. We got beat 3-0 by Watford, but on what? People lose all the time. City's been beat by about 6 teams this year or something, haven't they? And they're the ones going the most on Twitter, so they're just deluded, and they're getting banned from the Champions League as well, so there's not much they can say. I've seen Arsenal tweeting, being sarcastic, and all their fans being sarcastic, but again, they're 44 points behind us. So if you're living on hope of Liverpool getting beat to not be invincible, you're just sad. Focus on your own team, man. You just got knocked out by Olympiacos in the Europa League. That's why I just don't get when other clubs start focusing on us, and it's just like, wow, you've got worse problems. Liverpool have lost 1 game all season, and you're just celebrating it, and your team's shocking. Like, I just don't get it. I don't get other fans. It just seems like everyone who's not a Red just isn't normal. They just have lost it a little bit. But yeah, I'm gonna go anyway. Just thought I'd have a little talk after that abysmal performance. If you are watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe and hit the ding dong bell so you get notified every time we upload. All the support we've been getting so far has been phenomenal. Every time I look at the statistics for the listeners on Spotify, Apple, Google, we're also now on Alexa. So if you say to Alexa, play Redscast, it'll start playing it, which is quite cool. It's on Google Podcasts, it's on Deezer, it's on TuneIn, it's on everything now. It's absolutely everywhere, the podcast. But the statistics of numbers and listeners we're getting, it's good. It really is good. It's consistent. It's growing every single episode, which is really good, and I'm so thankful for it. I think around 26 YouTube subscribers now, which is cool. Really, to have 26 people have subscribed to the content, I'm really happy with that. It just makes me happy, really, to be honest. I'm easily happy. I don't expect this to do hugely well. I just want to talk about Liverpool, and I love radio, and there's no better way to do it. So yeah, I know I have a few podcasts where I'm on my own, but that is just because it has been like half term and Saturday nights and stuff, and getting a new dog. I don't want to have people just turning up all the time for podcasts. So yeah, I've got to consider that. So that's why I am on my own again. But however, guests are coming back, whether it be Jay or Steve or new people. And we have got exciting things happening with the studio. Although it's only just been built, we are going to be building a cool new studio and making it a little bit more interactive with the audience and with the guests as well. So that is all coming in the summer. But yeah, I am signing off. Don't forget to follow us on all social media. It is Redscast. And also, don't forget, once again, do follow the dog. If you're not watching on YouTube by now and you're still listening, head over to Redscast Podcast on YouTube and look at it, the visuals now, and just look at him. He is absolutely adorable. He is amazing. He really is. So do give him a follow. If you're listening on Spotify and you can't be asked, it is Verge_the Frenchie. And that is his Instagram. So yeah, go and follow his life. He is going to be the Liverpool's #1 dog supporter, because he is going to watch every single match. He's getting a little Virgil 4 bandana. He is going rigged out, believe me. But yeah, thanks for listening. I am going to be back on Wednesday talking about whether it was the kids or the first team for Chelsea, and then obviously a Saturday for the Bournemouth game as well. Nice one, everyone, for listening. Do appreciate it. Adios.